morning, everyone. It's still morning, isn't it? Just 3 minutes before. So obviously I'm speaking in favour of these micro units, and I called this in primarily because of my concern about all the local people that have now invested time, money and passion into these micro units. But before we do that, a lot of the things have been addressed. But I did want to bring up one thing to do with, it talked about, I think, the flow of the traffic there, and I worry about people coming in and out onto that road. And I'm no expert in planning. I can only speak as I see it from just being on the site several times. You've obviously got two traffic lights at either end of the site, so that disrupts flow generally anyway. But also right opposite the site, you've got two bus stops. And especially on the other side of the road, the path is probably only the width of my shoulders. And when people get off there, there's no really anywhere else for them to go. So they're crossing the road there, which would seem to me that if bus stops were put there for people to stroll across the road, it probably was never an idea that it was that much of a free-flowing road. Otherwise, why would the bus stops have been put there? So a lot of people are crossing that road quite regularly. So I thought. Also, again, as has been discussed, they're micro units. So the number of people that can come to these, we're not kind of talking about Queensgate in Peterborough or Vancouver Quarter. They have they're tiny. These units, imagine, are like the size of your kitchen. So, and lots of the people that have got the units aren't actually doing anything customer facing, meeting people in person either. So you've got a limited number of people visiting. So those are my kind of points on the flow. And then what I wanted to do was to talk about the people that are obviously there now. I think if I'm right, there's 12 units now with people in. I think one of them's been turned into a double. And some of the people there, there's a lovely African family that I met. They live in North Lynn. They're doing kind of, I think it's Nigerian ingredients and stuff like that in this unit. If they have to move on, it will be absolutely devastating for them to have to move on now. There's someone called Laurie that I met her. He's, renting a chair. He was renting a chair as a hairdresser. And like you said earlier about a stepping stone, he's not going to go from renting a chair some as a hairdresser to then suddenly getting a whole hairdressers with 5 chairs in the centre of King's Lynn. This is a stepping stone to see, can I get a couple of chairs with me and a colleague? Will it work here? Will it grow? Can I move on from there? And then there's going to be other people that are there because, they don't have in their space in their house for a room to do a home business. They're not lucky enough to have a house where they can fit in doing it from home. So this again is somewhere that they may never move on. They may stay in there. And one of those, for instance, is a lady called Bianca. She's actually where was she? She was from Albania. Moved to King's Lynn 10 years ago. Again, lives in North Lynn, and she's a seamstress. If you go in her little container, she's just got a table, working away. And she doesn't see lots of people. She, sometimes the stuff is dropped at her house and brought in and stuff like that. She's working away in there. And then 2 units put together. There's a lady there called Leanne. I think she has about 4 staff in there, and they provide administrative support, I think, to financial advisors. So again, they don't have people coming in. It's an admin facility, and again, perfect for them because when they look to try and do that anywhere else, it just wasn't achievable. It may be achievable in the end, and we want people to be just checking the time. We want people to get out to work. We want people to go and try and to make a go of it. So I'm very supportive of it. I think at the pointy end of this, whatever decision is made here today, there's going to be about 12 units and 20 people that will have something happen to them with this decision, which I think will be a shame. And I say, if anybody hasn't visited, and if you're unsure, that possibly deferring it to a site visit to go and see the people, talk to them, meet them, and then look at the flow of the traffic and everything else. And maybe after that, come to a decision then if you're unsure at all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Got anything to add, please?